Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back again with another Paladins video. First video on the test server for the Last Remains update. We're going to be covering the new champion Kasumi today. It's gone up a couple minutes ago, it's about 2 AM. You'll probably see this video a little bit after that. Couldn't get Kasumi to pop up on the main screen, but here she is. Death's Howl is her tagline. She is a damage. We're going to go through her kit, her cards, everything, and I'll jump into target practice and show her off a bit. Quite a bit of depth to it, so we'll start off with the Yokai doll, which is an auto aim ability, sort of like a mark for stuff we've got in the game already. So you kind of have to aim it, not really, but you stab your doll and you deal 200 damage every 0.6. You apply a stack of curse, like other stacks we've got in the game. It deals 25% increased damage to your target per stack over the curse they've already got. So the longer we're hitting somebody, the more damage you're going to be dealing to them. This is a bit that I saw other people getting confused about, but essentially, if you've got marks on other people, it pulls them off of them and gives you extra stacks on the target you're hitting, sort of stopping you from spreading them across too many people, I imagine is why that's there. From what I saw, pretty decent range on it. The max stacks are 5, and they also deal less damage outgoing from the person you've got stacks on, 2% per stack up to 10% max. Moving on to her Savage Tear, 9 seconds cooldown. You deal 400 damage, and at maximum stacks of your curse on a target, it will also disarm them for a second, which stops them from using their in-hand, dealing increased damage per stack of curse, although they don't put how much that is here. Q, Spirit there, you can place up to 3 traps on the ground. Your friendlies can see them all the time. Enemies can see them, I think, when they're close. It also gets buffed by Illuminate. They said that on the patch notes show. I love when they actually talk about stuff like that. Basically, enemy activates it, you can teleport to it, deal a tiny bit of damage, but mainly apply stacks to people, and also fear them for 1.5 seconds, which is also pretty unique to Kasumi, other than a few characters we don't have very much fearing going on in the game. Seems to have a short cooldown, but if you activate it, of course, it will be longer, as it says there. Then Body and Soul, which is sort of your escape, but very different from the other ones we've got in the game. 14 seconds on the cooldown. This is sort of a complicated one to explain without showing it, which I'll do in a second, but essentially, just imagine a soul leaving a body. That's what this is. You can sort of go for 2 seconds, you get extra speed. The body you leave behind has damage reduction, and like I said, you can reactivate it and you'll go back to your body, or your body will just teleport to you, so you can use it to sort of peek a corner, check if people are there because your soul can't be hit, and you can leave your body in sort of a safe spots if you want to see what's going on without putting yourself in danger, or using it as just a bunch of ways to dodge stuff. They don't put the percentage numbers here, but the speed and damage reduction was pretty hefty, but not 90% or anything crazy like that. And then finally the ultimate, Bitter Betrayal. This one's pretty straightforward, even though you might not get it without seeing it. It's essentially a sticky bomb. After 1.75 seconds, the target that you've marked with that sticky bomb will essentially blow up. The target lives. I think they take a bit of damage from the bomb, but then projectiles go outwards in a horizontal plane, and it also adds stacks on top of the damage that it deals. Plays into a passive a ton and is quite a bit different from what we've got already. That is her base kit. She's got some skins, a recolor here with sort of a purple, more dead looking theme, a human version of her, and then the golden, which surprisingly looks way more evil than the base one. For the weapons, pretty straightforward. She's got an emote, which I do really like, probably the best default emote we've got in Paladins. I feel pretty confident with that one. If there's one better than this, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is the best default emote we got. She's also got one pose here, Possessive, a little creepy, as you'd expect with a character like this, and the cards, which I'll try and go through pretty quick because this usually ends up being a bit longer than I want it to be, so I'm not going to say too much here, and then we'll jump straight into the target practice and play her a little bit and show her off. So first off, you can increase your speed after your little F thing on the ground is triggered. I don't know if they can destroy the F, by the way, they didn't mention that on the show, but I imagine that you can just shoot it and it'll be destroyed. This doesn't mention that you have to reactivate it, so technically if somebody just sets it off, you can get a huge buff on the speed, which is kind of nice. You can reduce the cooldown on the reactivation, heal on any time it's triggered, also increase the area of the explosion because there is a talent that makes them sort of just mines. So I imagine for the default way of playing it, it's not going to be that useful, but if you go for the talent, it might be kind of nice. I don't know how the damage scaling on that will work. I don't know if it's like drop off or if it just deals the same amount regardless of how far away you are from the trigger, but still not a crazy percentage on this. For Body and Soul, which is the F, you can increase the speed after it ends. You can reduce the cooldown, you can heal, you can increase the duration, very standard stuff there. For Savage Tear, you can reduce the cooldown, increase the damage, increase the disarm on it, and this one, which I think will be used at least a little bit, will apply stacks when you use that right click. Then moving on to her armor and her weapon, you can increase your health. Super standard, increase the duration of your stacks. Super standard, you can make it so you get an extra stack on somebody with your left click up to once every 10 seconds, which isn't crazy, but over the course of a game might make a big difference. If you combo with this card, which I think is going to be one that will be very popular, is a heal, basically a self-heal, whenever you're hitting somebody with max stacks on your left click or your right click. So yeah, that's all of Kazumi's kit. I'm now going to test her out in the target practice. Haven't done this off camera, so I have no idea really what to expect other than what I've seen on the show. Here are her talents, which I forgot to go through, but I guess we can do it now. So first off, we have Empowered Curse, which is quite a bit better than you might originally think. You get extra attack speed and movement speed per stack you have on enemies. It's quite easy to stack with Kasumi if you use her kit properly, so this will make a pretty big difference. Overall, her talents to me seem pretty interesting. Spirit Bomb, which is what I mentioned a little bit earlier, where you can turn your little marks on the ground to teleport to them. Essentially, instead of that, they just become mines. They even use the word there, timed mines. But of course, then you're trading out the teleport, and you also get a little bit of extra cooldown added on. Finally, unfinished business, which is going to buff the out of soul escape thing. I imagine this will be the least popular. It's also the last one you unlock, I'm pretty sure, but it increases the duration by a second, and when it ends, you heal for 70% of the damage you took while traveling, unaffected by cauterize. So let's take a look at Kasumi. We'll do the inspect real quick. It does seem to have a variant or two, because I did that a second ago and it had a different animation. Although maybe it's the same. Okay, yeah, it definitely has a variant. I love when they do that. Here is a look at the little teleport mine, the queue, because I'm going to do it out of order, because why not? Really quite nice animation there, fluid looking, and you can't teleport to it, but it seems like as soon as you place more than 3 down, it will just remove the oldest one, but not going to really do anything if I just put them like this. If I put one here, I imagine it will trigger, and then I can teleport to it. There we go. But I guess it didn't work. Just want to make sure I didn't grab the wrong talent. We'll try this again. They're definitely not expiring. They are detonating. They're just detonating wrong. Again, the PTS is going to be buggy because it's a test server, but the queue seems to just not work unless I'm missing how I meant to teleport to them, which could be the case, but I don't know. Let's change the talent up and see if the explosion works. Okay, I just threw one far away. Can you throw these now? Oh, okay, so if you grab the mine talent, you can throw them. It does not mention that in the description, but is really important and makes the talent a hell of a lot better. Unless, again, I'm missing it. Can no longer be reactivated, timed mines. Yeah, no, it doesn't say that you can, like, literally place them far away. So you can throw them at range, trigger them, fear, get stacks. You can right-click to get the damage, and then just, yeah, I guess I should show off the base weapon a bit. And then the right-click, which deals 900. I'm pretty sure it was dealing a K on the show, if I'm not misremembering, but maybe I'm not using the right setup for it. But yeah, you do go through people pretty quick, considering you can't really miss. You do have to be sort of accurate with it, but you can aim quite a bit off of the victor. I imagine that she'll be quite a bit easier to play if you're one of those people that is like semi-accurate, but not massively accurate. And on console, she might be better than she is on PC. Although maybe that's not the case, because she'll also be able to follow characters like Eevee who are flying around a ton a little bit better. So yeah, something just worth noting. And then I'll show the right click real quick, which is very similar to the Ceres thing, although it doesn't actually remove the stacks, which I thought it would for some reason, but it also disarms them if they have max stacks. Here's a look at the range, which is way longer than I was expecting. 120 I didn't think was this much of a distance, but yeah, you got the measurements and everything. Just to show you the stacks moving around real quick, because if I have 5 stacks on the victor here and then I move it over, he'll get 2 taken off of him and there'll be 1 extra. I'm pretty sure that's just to stop you from stacking on like a bunch of different people without too much effort. But if we stack here, I use the right click, that only hits the victor I'm marking. I for some reason thought it would also trigger on people who had stacks on. It doesn't, so it makes a little bit less sense to me that they decided to implement it this way, because it's going to confuse, I think, some people. But there's a 900 burst. You can really go through people. It's going to be sort of your burst hit ability, similar to a Lian Q, except you have to aim it even less. So let's take a look at the F, which is sort of your escape. You leave your little body behind, and then you wiggle over this way, and your body will either follow you, or you can go back. So sort of a check ability, a dodge ability. It's a bunch of things combined into one, but I think it is unique and fits her rather well. And then finally we have her ultimate, which is again sort of a sticky bomb. The animation there is great, and then it takes onto a bunch of people. You right click, that will only hit the 1 victor, but you can see the damage just from that ult there is pretty hefty. So yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it, but it is sort of a sticky bomb. I'm noticing right now though that you do gen the ult pretty quick. It seems to gen a little bit faster than I was expecting, and you also don't have any ammo, which is a really important thing, because it means if there's people in front of you, you can pretty much just be permanently stabbing. You do want to focus on one target more than hitting a bunch of people, because you can see the damage does start out quite low and then goes up to the 450, which is pretty hefty per tick. And with the time right now, we're getting extra attack speed and movement speed, which towards the end there, 5 stacks, if you're going to use this as an anti-tank thing, is going to really shred through people. Also, just want to point out that the distance on the ultimate is the same as your weapon, although the actual range indication is slightly off. I hope that they change that, because he looks like he's out of range here, but I can still hit him. It should line up. I feel like they either need to make her range shorter or make the indication better, because yeah, this just looks weird this way. So just to give you an example, she isn't really an anti-tank. She's just a constant damage output as far as I can tell. I can imagine people playing Kasumi and having really high numbers at the end of the game, because it doesn't seem like much when you're just watching me here kill a Ying. It seems pretty slow, because you don't have to aim it, you have no ammo, you're just basically holding left click and walking around sort of stabbing people through the air, and comboing in a right click with a disarm every now and again. You got your Q for mines if you grab the talent, you got the F as the escape. I think over the course of a match you really are just going to end up with ridiculous numbers if you're actually playing semi-decent. If I change over to the mine talent, I just want to see real quick the damage. It's still 100, but then triggers the fear. I imagine this might be a better way to use it, but Compared to the other talent, I'm not sure if this will see as much use as just the straight up buff to her attack speed and movement speed. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've got to say. As you can see there, if we activate it on the Ying, the damage is still pretty beefy, but it won't hit the Nando or the Victor. I'm sure I forgot some stuff, and I'll remember as I'm putting this video together, but whatever, I'll leave it for the next one. Stay tuned to the channel, I have a bunch of stuff coming on the test server. I honestly like Kasumi a ton. I feel like she fits into Paladins really, really well. I'm sure people will complain about it just because of inherently the way her kit works. She isn't crazy complicated, but she is a little bit more, I feel like, deep than some of the other characters we've had. Thanks so much for watching though. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys all really, really soon. Let me know when you want to see me the next. Let me know your thoughts, of course, on Kasumi down in the comments. And as always, stay Frost. Time that with the ultimate popping up somehow.